Welcome guys, this is Automotive Anonymous, and it's been way too long since I've done a 0 to 60 comparison test of a bunch of different Chevy Silverados. So today I'm in town visiting the Twin Falls Chevy. These vehicles are all on their website below, and we're gonna do some 0 to 60 comparisons between trucks like this regular cab 2024 Turbo Max, this 2024 LT Trail Boss with the 3-liter diesel LZO. I'll also be sure to include one of these regular 5.3-liter Ecotec 3 trucks. And we'll try to even include a 6.2-liter High Country. So we'll get basically all the 1,500 Silverados in today. Keep in mind, altitude is about 3,700 feet. Density altitude, the last time I checked today, was about 2,500 feet. So the naturally aspirated V8 truck engines are down on power about 8%, whereas the turbo diesel and turbo 4-banger gas engine are down on power about half of that. So let's see what it can do. I'll show the GPS graph after following all of them. I'll try to also include a brief walk around and maybe the window sticker so you can see gearing ratio on each of these as well if I can get to that point. Otherwise, let's get right into it. And if you want to see more of this type of stuff, please consider liking, potentially subscribe. I do stuff like this every once in a while. Anyways, let's dive right in. So I'm going to start out in the 2.7-liter Turbo Max regular cab Silverado. If you're anything like me, you like the idea of a fast regular cab short bed Silverado, and you really don't see very many of them anymore. Every test is going to be in the equivalent of 4 high or 4 auto, whatever the truck is spec'd with. Traction control is off, and I'll brake rev the automatic transmission, so we'll see what it can do. Each one will get one run. If for some reason we get a lot of wheel spin, I'll duplicate the test. So it's just real world testing. This is what you get. Alright, true 0 to 60 came in at 7.00 without the foot of rollout. It's obviously in the 6s, as you can see. When full boost kicked in first gear, I was actually surprised at how hard this pulled onto the next truck. Alright, the second one is the LT Trail Boss with the LZO. It's probably been about a half year since I've driven one of these. The LZO was new for last year. It was upgraded over what I think was the LM2 3-liter. Pretty cool truck. We're just gonna let it warm up and then I'll take it on the road. And while we're here, I might as well just show you the sticker. And in the 3-liter diesel, if you haven't driven one of the Turbo Silverados, definitely don't knock it until you do. Not only do they sound great, this diesel also gets over 30 miles per gallon per a lot of people's reports, and it's reasonably fast at that. Here we go. True 0 to 60 came in at 7.68 seconds. Not bad considering the size of this big bumpy truck, but it's pretty good. Let's hop into the next one and see what it can do. Alright, so I'm basically going from smaller to larger engine. So the 2.7-liter did a 7-second flat. I actually did an impromptu review of it after because I didn't want to return it because it was that much fun. So I parked it up there on the platform. And as soon as I parked it, I had to give the keys back because it's already being sold right now. And then the 3-liter diesel, it did about a 7.68 true time. That was actually the second run I did. The first one was about 1/10 of a second slower. So just to confirm, that is about where it's running. Whereas I already knew what the 2.7s ran. I've driven more of those. So now I'm gonna go get the keys to the 5.3-liter 10-speed Rally Sport truck right here. And then we're gonna wrap it up with the big 6.2-liter in the High Country. All right, the Rally Sport truck. All right, in the Rally Sport truck, keep in mind the V8s lose more power from density, altitude, and altitude because they can't compress the air the same way the turbos can. And they're sad about that. But still, 355 horse. Let's see what this one can do. Alright, kind of a slow shift from first to second, but true 0 to 60 came in at 7.8, so just barely behind the diesel. I'm going to do a second run, and if it's not any faster, I'll leave this one in. And lastly, I'm in the nearly $80,000 luxurious 6.2 liter High Country. I reviewed one of these, I think in the last couple months, and I will say this one hands down smells the best. The bluish gray leather interior is really cool, and my bum is warm with those heated seats, as is the steering wheel warmer. But let's see what it can do 0 to 60. True 0 to 60 came in at 6.6 seconds, so the big honkin' 6.2 liter V8 is the fastest one today. Well guys, we made it back, and the 6.2 is the king, as it rightfully should be. It is the biggest engine after all, and it has the highest horsepower output. And you're probably thinking, well, that wasn't quite a fair test. That 2.7 liter Turbo Max, which got second place, is only a regular cab. So sure, throw on 3 or 4 more hundred pounds, maybe add 3 or 4 more tenths of a second. But honestly, it probably would have gone second place even if I took, say, the custom Turbo Max or something like that. I've driven probably 4 or 5 of those on my channel. They do in the 7s regardless. Even during the summer, they can usually do upper 7s when it's over 7,000 feet of density altitude, which I've mentioned that a lot today. The V8s are at a disadvantage. My true altitude here in this mountainous, kind of high desert plain is almost 4,000 feet. So your results may vary. They might be different at sea level. They're likely all at least a second faster at sea level. But this is what I have to work with. And none of them were in any sort of sport mode or anything like that. But they all were in auto 4-wheel drive. So with the clutch-based transfer case, it's going to hold traction where it needed to. The ground, there's ice. It's barely melting. We're in like the low 30s today. And they all had traction control off. So it's a fairly similar test that way. Trying to keep variables, as consistent as I can. But overall, the 6.21, then the Turbo 4, then the Turbo 3 liter, and lastly, the big V8 5.3 liter, which is an old but good engine, got last place. What are your thoughts? Comment them below. Like this video if you want to see more stuff like this, and I'll do more random 0 to 60 comparisons. Otherwise, thank you for watching. If you're still listening to this, take care, and I'll link the dealership below because they are some really cool people to work with. Anyways, see you guys.